Why staying home is the best thing you can do for yourself after 70. There comes a moment in life, often quietly and without announcement, when you wake up one morning and realize something has changed. Not in a dramatic way. Not with pain or fear. But with clarity. After the age of 70, many people begin to notice that the world outside no longer pulls on them the way it once did. The noise feels louder. The pace feels faster. And the desire to rush out the door simply fades. Instead, there is a deep appreciation for being right where you are. At home. In a place that feels familiar, steady, and safe. If this sounds like you, let me say this gently and clearly. There is nothing wrong with you. In fact, this shift is not a sign of decline. It is a sign of wisdom. After 70, life begins to ask different questions. Not how much can you do, but how deeply can you live? Not how busy are you, but how peaceful do you feel? Staying home becomes less about avoiding the world and more about choosing yourself. When you were younger, life demanded movement. There were responsibilities to meet, people to care for, goals to chase, and expectations to fulfill. You learned how to push through tiredness. You learned how to show up even when you had little left to give. You learned how to survive in a world that rewarded speed, productivity, and constant motion. And you did it well. You gave decades of your life to building, providing, supporting, and enduring. But now, in this stage of life, the purpose is no longer about proving anything. You have already proven enough. What matters now is meaning. And meaning does not come from rushing around. It comes from presence. It comes from being able to sit with yourself without discomfort. It comes from quiet moments that allow your mind and body to rest. Your home becomes the natural place for this kind of living. Not because it is small or limiting, but because it is grounding. Inside your home, your nervous system can finally relax. You do not have to be alert all the time. You do not have to watch traffic, read social cues, or protect yourself from noise and stress. You can move slowly. You can pause. You can breathe without feeling rushed. The outside world has changed a great deal over the years. It is louder now. Faster. More demanding. Everywhere you go, there is pressure to keep up, to respond, to adapt. Conversations feel hurried. Spaces feel crowded. Even simple errands can drain your energy more than they once did. This is not because you are weaker. It is because your awareness is sharper. You feel more deeply what your body and mind need. At home, things soften. The sounds are familiar. The light enters the room in a way you recognize. The chair fits your body just right. There is comfort in knowing where everything is. There is safety in routine. These small details matter more than people realize, especially after 70. They help your system settle. They help your heart feel at ease. One of the greatest changes that comes with age is how you experience energy. When you were younger, energy felt endless. You could give it away freely and still have more the next day. Now, energy feels precious. Not fragile, but valuable. You begin to understand that every outing, every conversation, every commitment has a cost. Some things give energy back. Many things take it away. Staying home allows you to protect what you have. It allows you to spend your energy where it truly matters. Instead of being pulled in many directions, you can choose rest. Instead of reacting to the demands of the world, you can respond to the needs of your body. This is not selfish. It is intelligent. It is respectful to the life you have lived and the life you are still living. There is a quiet restoration that happens at home. The simple act of sitting in silence, of having a cup of tea, of looking out the window, does something profound. It brings you back to yourself. Your thoughts slow down. Your breathing deepens. Your muscles release tension they have been holding without your awareness. This is not doing nothing. This is healing. Many people after 70 feel a subtle pressure from others, even from well-meaning loved ones. They are encouraged to stay busy, stay social, stay active at all costs. As if stillness were something to fear. As if being home were a sign of giving up. But this way of thinking misses an important truth. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. Loneliness is emptiness. It is feeling unseen, unheard, disconnected. Solitude, on the other hand, is fullness. It is being comfortable in your own presence. It is having space to reflect, to remember, to simply exist without performance. Solitude becomes especially powerful later in life because it allows you to hear your inner voice again, the one that may have been drowned out for years by responsibility and noise. At home, in quiet moments, you may notice thoughts rising that you have not had time to listen to before. Memories surface. Emotions gently ask for attention. This is not something to avoid. This is part of the natural process of becoming whole. After decades of focusing outward, life invites you inward. And your home is the safest place for that journey. There is a deep emotional intelligence that develops with age. You begin to recognize what drains you and what nourishes you. Certain conversations feel heavy. Certain environments feel overwhelming. Certain people, even unintentionally, leave you feeling exhausted. Staying home gives you the space to make choices based on wisdom rather than obligation. You no longer have to explain yourself. You no longer have to attend everything. You are allowed to say no without guilt. Your worth is no longer measured by how full your calendar is. It is measured by how calm your heart feels at the end of the day. And calm grows best in familiar soil. Your home holds your rhythms. It understands your pace. It allows you to live in alignment with who you are now, not who you were decades ago. There is also something deeply reassuring about routine after 70. Waking up at your own time. Preparing food the way you like it. Sitting in the same place each morning. These small rituals provide stability in a world that often feels unpredictable. They create a sense of continuity. They remind you that life does not need to be dramatic to be meaningful. When you stay home, you give your body the gift of consistency. Your sleep improves. Your appetite becomes more balanced. Your movements become gentler and more intuitive. You are no longer forcing yourself to match an external pace. You are listening. And listening is one of the greatest skills of aging well. There is a quiet dignity in choosing peace. It takes courage to step away from noise. It takes strength to honor your limits. Staying home after 70 is not retreating from life. It is engaging with life in a deeper, more sustainable way. It is choosing quality over quantity, presence over performance. And perhaps most importantly, staying home allows you to reconnect with yourself not as a role, but as a human being. Not as a parent, a worker, a provider, or a problem solver, but simply as you. The person who has lived, loved, lost, learned, and endured. The person who deserves rest. This chapter of life is not meant to be rushed. It is meant to be felt. And your home, in all its quiet simplicity, offers the perfect space for that feeling to unfold naturally, gently, and without pressure. As the days become quieter, something else begins to happen, often without you even noticing at first. Your body starts to respond. When there is less rushing, less pressure, less emotional noise, the body finds room to repair itself. This is one of the quiet gifts of staying home after 70. Stress slowly loosens its grip. The heart no longer needs to race. The breath becomes deeper and more natural. Sleep comes more easily when the mind is not overstimulated. Peace is not only emotional, it is physical. When your surroundings are calm, your body receives a clear signal that it is safe. And when the body feels safe, healing becomes possible. Muscles relax. Digestion improves. The immune system strengthens. These changes do not happen overnight, and they do not need to. They happen gently, the same way a garden grows when it is watered consistently rather than flooded all at once. Being at home also allows you to move in ways that feel right for you. Not the kind of movement that is forced or competitive, but the kind that is natural. Stretching in the morning. Walking slowly through the house. Standing at the window and shifting your weight as you watch the day unfold. These movements keep the body alive without exhausting it. They honor where you are rather than where you think you should be. There is also a deep emotional healing that takes place in stillness. Over a lifetime, many feelings are set aside because there was no time to process them. Grief, disappointment, regret, even unexpressed joy. At home, in moments of quiet, these emotions are finally given space. Not to overwhelm you, but to be acknowledged. This is how the heart softens. This is how long-held tension dissolves. Your home becomes a container for this healing. The walls have witnessed your life. They have seen moments of strength and moments of vulnerability. There is a sense of being held by your own history. In this space, you are allowed to feel without judgment. You are allowed to rest without explanation. You are allowed to be exactly as you are. One of the most difficult things for many people after 70 is letting go of guilt. Guilt for not doing enough. Guilt for saying no. Guilt for choosing rest. Society has a strong voice, and it often praises busyness while dismissing stillness. But at this stage of life, guilt has no useful purpose. You have already given more than enough. You have already shown up in countless ways. You do not need to justify your choices anymore. You do not need to fill your days to prove your value. Rest is not laziness. Quiet is not weakness. Staying home is not isolation when it is chosen with intention. It is care. It is self-respect. It is a recognition that your time and energy are limited and deserve to be spent wisely. There may be people who do not understand this choice. They may encourage you to go out more, to stay busy, to keep up. Often, this comes from their own discomfort with stillness. But you are not responsible for easing their discomfort. You are responsible for your well-being. And your well-being thrives in environments that feel safe, familiar, and calm. At home, you have control over your world. You decide when to engage and when to rest. You decide who has access to your energy. This sense of agency is incredibly important later in life. It restores dignity. It reinforces the truth that you are still the author of your days. There is also beauty in the simplicity of home life. The way sunlight moves across the floor. The sound of rain against the window. The comfort of a familiar blanket. These moments are small, but they are not insignificant. They are reminders that life does not need to be grand to be meaningful. Often, the quietest moments carry the deepest peace. After 70, meaning shifts. It is no longer found in achievements or accumulation. It is found in awareness. In gratitude. In being present for what is. A warm drink in your hands. A calm morning. A body that is still breathing, still here. These are not small things. They are the essence of life. Staying home allows you to notice these moments without distraction. There is no schedule pulling you away, no noise competing for your attention. You can sit with the present moment long enough to feel its fullness. This is where contentment grows. Not from having more, but from needing less. Your home also becomes a quiet teacher. It shows you that you can live with less stimulation and still feel alive. It reminds you that you are enough without constant activity. It teaches patience, acceptance, and gentleness. These lessons are subtle, but they are powerful. As you spend more time at home, you may notice a growing sense of peace that does not depend on external circumstances. This peace stays with you even when challenges arise. It becomes a steady presence, something you can return to again and again. This is the kind of peace that supports aging with grace. You are not shrinking your world by staying home. You are refining it. You are choosing depth over noise, calm over chaos, presence over pressure. This choice does not make your life smaller. It makes it truer. There is also something deeply meaningful about aging alongside your home. The space evolves with you. It adapts to your needs. It holds your routines, your memories, your quiet victories. It becomes a companion in this stage of life, offering consistency in a changing world. And as the years continue, what matters most is not how much you did, but how you felt. Did you feel rushed or at peace? Did you feel pressured or content? Did you feel safe in your own life? Staying home gives you the best chance to answer those questions with honesty and kindness toward yourself. This stage of life is not about chasing excitement. It is about cultivating peace. It is about creating days that feel gentle rather than demanding. It is about honoring the body, the heart, and the mind for carrying you this far. So if you find comfort in staying home, trust that feeling. If you find joy in simplicity, allow it. If you find peace in solitude, embrace it without apology. You are not missing out on life. You are living it in a way that finally feels aligned with who you are. Peace does not come from running into the world. It comes from settling into yourself. And for many people after 70, the home becomes the doorway to that peace. When your surroundings are calm, your mind follows. When your mind is calm, your heart softens. And when your heart is at ease, life feels meaningful again, even in its quiet moments. So sit in your favorite place. Let the day unfold at its own pace. Breathe deeply. Be kind to yourself. You do not need to be everywhere. You do not need to do everything. You only need to be present with the life you have right now. Because after 70, the greatest gift you can give yourself is peace. And very often, the most powerful place to find that peace is the home you already have.